Are you ready to turn your dreams into a reality? Then you need to join the next round in the Dream Bigger Mastermind. Get on the waitlist today to secure early access and an exclusive bonus when enrollment opens. It's time to manifest your best life yet. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Breathe More. This is a very special episode for me because I have Sam today on the episode on Breathe More. And Sam is such a special client for me because she has been in my world since I started doing this work, which was 8 years ago. She's one of my very first clients when I started to just do breathwork circles at yoga studios. And this class was at 8 a.m. I think it was like twice a week or something. And she was always there. I had like such a small little class. I think I had 3 of you, my loyal clients. And from that place, I have been able to guide Sam throughout different areas in her life, but also different milestones in her life. And that's why I wanted to invite her on this podcast because she's such an inspiration on what can happen in your life when you acknowledge, hey, I'm feeling stuck. I don't know what's going on. This is what I want in my life, but I can't seem to get the results. And she has trusted me in being her guide and helping her move energy and helping her heal from past traumas. And she has manifested her dream life. So, Sam, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm just thrilled to have you.
Oh my God. Thank you for the sweetest intro ever. I feel like
you're
I could
blushing.
say the same about you. For sure. But yeah, we've just been through so much together and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I know it's much more to come. So it's
Thank you, my dear.
For you to be in my life. I'm so honored.
So I wanted to bring you on because I've been talking about the Dream Bigger Mastermind. You are a repeat client of the Dream Bigger Mastermind. You started in one of my very first mastermind groups where at the time, Sam is very talented. She's a designer. She's an artist. She's so creative. She's an entrepreneur as well. She always has all of these ideas. And so at the time for the very first mastermind that she was a part of, you know, she had her freelance gigs, but she also created her own brand, her lifestyle brand. And she just needed some support in making it more financially sustainable, having more structure, but also working on her own mindset around that so that she could receive, so that she could feel more confident in her work and her offerings. And that was the work that we did first round. Do you remember that?
I absolutely remember because I feel like I was telling you we just work on so many phases that I forget when exactly a mastermind starts or stops. But yes, I definitely remember needing the push when I was working on my own brand to just be confident in my own voice, have a little bit of support system to rely on to push me out of my comfort zone and send the emails, post the Instagram things, like just do all the things that maybe I'm a little bit more hesitant to do and a little bit more comfortable to be a person behind a brand instead of in front of a brand. That was really special.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people can identify with this where you yourself, Sam, and then also the listeners are probably really great at what they do. They're a great employee. They're a great partner. They're a great friend, but you have a hard time owning it and taking up space and also communicating and letting other people know what you need from them as well. And with you, Sam, that's been a lot of the work in the different moments throughout your life that we've been working on in giving yourself permission to post about it, to let people know, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I have to offer. Look at this beautiful creation that I did. And really celebrating and letting other people know about your art and feeling safe in that, right? And not just expecting that because I create something, somehow people are going to find out about it, even though I've never talked about it or posted about it. And that's a thing that a lot of people struggle with. And then from that, what I have found, this isn't necessarily your case, but I have found other clients that in that, then some resentment starts to develop Like, why am I not being acknowledged? Why can't they read my mind? There's all this work that you're doing, and we just expect people to automatically receive it or say something about it because isn't that normal? Like, shouldn't people acknowledge hard work and beautiful stuff out in the world? And unfortunately, that's not the case.
Yeah, definitely not in a business sense, at least. I feel like sometimes you put in the work and it naturally flows and things start moving. But if you got to make money, you need to be putting in the effort to put yourself out there and let people receive all that you have. Maybe it's the work that we've done with that and continue to do. But I'm very confident and happy, and I feel like I have beautiful stuff to offer the world. So I'm really grateful that we took that time to find that within myself and be putting it out there a little bit more.
Yeah. And her brand, it had its life. It has become now your work, like something different. But at the end of the day, like you're still sharing your gifts and your art. And in this last round of Mastermind, which she just completed a year ago in the spring, that was also the time where you had reached out in the fall. You're like, hey, I don't know if this is right for Mastermind. Like, I'm currently struggling with personal life stuff. And then also, I think just like confidence and just truly, again, like owning your worth with work, like really communicating what you want. And of course, I'm like, yeah, girl, you know that we can help you. You've done it before. Is this really a question? But sometimes that happens. Our brain's like, I don't know. Do I really need to spend that money when also that can be a thing? And so Sam joined, and right away we started to do deep healing work, really, to get you into a place where energetically and physically your body wasn't so shut down, and getting you to a place where this was doing healing on 20-year-old self and then also inner child work again, and getting in touch with those parts of you so that you reconcile past experiences. And there's a moment where you didn't even recognize that that was an issue for you. We don't have to go into details, but it was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that my body was still holding on to that judgment or that experience or that pain. And that's a beautiful work of when we hold space for each other, is that we're able to uncover. It doesn't quite make sense. Like logically and consciously, you know what you want and you also know what to do, but somehow it's just not quite clicking. And that's the magic that happens when you have a guide or a healer like me that's able to help you identify, okay, well, this is what I'm seeing. And then we're able to make the connections like, oh, yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, that insight is so invaluable. You're right. I just know I needed something. And what is that little bit that I'm not seeing or able to help myself with? And so I'm really grateful that we were just able to discover some things that I'm just like, holy cow, like this is wild. And to just even things that I wasn't even planning to work on, just flowing and surfacing, just magic.
So in the last round of Mastermind, one of the biggest shifts that I saw in you, Sam, was your confidence. Like, I really feel that by the end of the 6 months together, you were showing up as a different woman in your professional career, in your home life. And because of that, you were able to then make the request that you wanted at work. And that resulted in you getting a promotion, getting more money, and also like making it clear with upper management, like, this is who I am. This is how I see myself. And then you fully embody that role. And then all this magic started to happen.
And I'm not done by any means. I feel like there's so much we haven't even connected on that, like, I'm still just very confident in how and when I use my voice and just how I communicate with people. And I think that the care and intention that goes into it makes it really effective. And I feel heard a lot more than maybe I used to, just because I'm really trying to think about what I say and how I deliver things and present myself. And I'm just seeing great results. And I'm so happy with where my life continues to ebb and flow. And there's just like no stop to it.
Yeah. And with that, with the confidence and learning how to better communicate your needs has also made you a better manager and leader at your company, where in the past, there might be some tension or maybe a challenging employee, and it's like there's tension and all of this unsaid stuff. And you were able to show up as a compassionate, open leader and completely shift the energy of your group. And that, again, is the power of doing our own healing work, where it has a ripple effect on those around us. And if more people did this work, like, can you imagine the world it would be? So beautiful.
I have no words. And like this, me 8 years ago, like the reason I was that girl in your class every morning is because I knew I had all these feelings. Why did I have all this anxiety where I couldn't even speak up in an office? Now I'm like taking charge and making changes. I didn't even know if my boyfriend of the time and I were going to be together. Look at us now. Like, we've been married for 6 years. We have a baby on the way.
Oh my gosh. We got to talk about
So
this,
that's a
baby.
whole other thing. But yeah, the journey. And I attribute it all to the learnings on learnings on learnings and the work. I couldn't have done what I've done in this past year without laying the foundation of all the work we've done together, all the tools that I have, all the knowledge I know to like self-reflect, take a minute, what's going on, think of my triggers, this toolbox that I
Yeah.
have based from all the work we do.
Yeah. And that's what helps us feel empowered and in charge of our life. That's what allows us to no longer be repeating ancestral traumas, right? You are a cycle breaker. And now, like, the biggest manifestation of this last round of Mastermind is that Sam is going to be a mom. And that's also something that we worked on in Mastermind on you. Not that you needed the clarity to decide whether or not you were going to be a mom, but to feel confident as well in that, because there was some self doubt and concerns, and your body was reacting to those thoughts, right? It's like it was contracted, it was scared, it was not feeling completely safe. And so doing healing works, as you were saying, like making the connections, looking at what part of you is activated, what part of you doesn't feel safe, is shut down. Once you were able to connect with that part of you and comfort her and give her love and help her feel safe, then your whole energy shifted, your mindset shifted, it aligned. I always like to describe quickly what the Dream Bigger Mastermind is that I help you align your mindset to your goals so that you can manifest with ease. Because if there are thoughts that don't believe that whatever it is that you want will happen, it's going to take longer to manifest your goals. And so I help you quickly move energy so that you get to the point where it's like a full body yes, where you're like, I don't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, but I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this next step. And I'm going to do everything in my power, in my control to support my body, to be healthy, to continue taking care of myself. And here you are having a baby. I am so
Oh my God.
happy. The first mastermind baby.
Yay. Well, I'm happy to be the first. I definitely agree. It is a full body yes. Like when you make the commitment and then you figure out what you need to do. I'm like definitely a list maker, checker, doer 100% in when I'm ready. So I know when I've signing up for stuff that I have the support of you and the group. And it's like, okay, let's throw out some ideas. Let's move some energy. Let's try some things. And I tried it all. I did all the things and saw results.
Yeah. So, what's coming to mind as well was in that process, one of the things that the group and I also was constantly reminding you of is to not be so hard on yourself. Sam has come a really long way, but I think you're still very much struggling with perfectionism. And
Forever.
no, we don't want to struggle with that forever.
I know, but
that's going to be next round of mastermind for you. But like, we are just so hard on ourselves. We hold ourselves to this standard that we don't hold anyone else to. And we have these unrealistic expectations that there's a good intention behind it. We want to be proud of our work. We want to do the best that we can do. But at the same time, if that is going to a place of then dipping down into the negative self-talk or blaming yourself or feeling like you're doing it wrong, then that's also not helpful. And so throughout Mastermind, we had to keep reminding Sam, like, Sam, you just started 2 weeks ago. Can you just chill for a minute and acknowledge what the work that you had to do to even get to this place where now you're taking action? Like, just breathe, Sam. It's going to happen for you. It's going to be okay. And we're not just talking about the baby, like we're talking about just like all her other goals as well. And so that was something that when you're in a group like Mastermind, like we help you shine light on your shadows when they come up so that you're not going into the same like self-destructive patterns or the self-sabotage or just being mean to yourself. Like, I always remind yourself, it's like when we go into the negative self-talk, basically that's how you're talking to your inner child. Like, would you, who you are, the kind, beautiful human that you are, really talk to a child like that? No. And so why are you doing that to yourself? So how are you doing with your self-talk lately?
Always a challenge, but honestly, I think I'm trying to be kind, give myself time. I'm struggling with sharing. Like, yeah, I've put a lot of this work in on a private level, or, I just didn't want other feedback from people when I wasn't really ready for it. And so now being open to telling people my good news, I'm like, oh God, the news. Like, I don't know. Opinions. I don't want opinions. And so just be like knowing they're coming, being gentle with it, and just trying to have an open mind, let things flow, not get to me. If I am struggling, like just recognizing, oh, this is weird. I'm having trouble receiving joy. Like people are excited for me and I'm struggling with that. And I'm like, what's the issue here? Let's think about it for a second. So, yeah, I mean, those are my current struggles. I hope that like I'm being kind and forgiving with myself a little bit. Like my body's changing. My pants don't fit. Like just letting it go. I'm a girl who likes to work it out and I'm like, oh, this is me now.
Yeah,
So
it's such an adjustment.
just rolling with the punches.
Well, thank you so much for being vulnerable around that and you still struggling to receive the joy and the love and support, encouragement from others, and recognizing that there's some fear around other people's opinions where Sam has experienced life where she has always been her own authentic self. And it's so beautiful. She's courageous. She knows at the core, like, who she is. And she lives by that, even though that may be completely different than other people in her family or society. And other folks can find that threatening or confusing. They will project their own stuff. But you've been learning how to navigate that. And you've been learning how to set boundaries for yourself and how to communicate that. So I think even around this pregnancy, I think there's a way to let people know, like, thank you so much. Or even at the beginning, right? Like, I have some news, but at the time, like the way that you can support me, or I'm just like trying to figure out. I'm doing like a little mini coaching live session here right now. This is what I do in the Dream Bigger Mastermind, by the way. Just letting people know basically what you need in this moment. There's a lot of information there about what you can expect in pregnancy. From what I'm seeing, everybody's body's different. And what I'm experiencing is different than what you have experienced. But I'm just grateful to be healthy. And I'm excited to welcome our baby. And thank you so much for the love and encouragement. That just helps to acknowledge the person, to communicate, hey, I'm not looking for advice. You're acknowledging like everyone's different. And this is what I'm grateful for. And it just puts like a little nice bow on the conversations like, okay, we're going to switch gears right now. So again, there's an art to guiding conversations, to setting boundaries. And it's something that you're getting better and better at it. And so I celebrate you for recognizing, okay, I'm feeling some activation, doing your own self-awareness, doing your own self-regulation, and then getting to a place where you're able to either shut down a comment or navigate it, switch it in a way where it feels better to you. And that's the beauty of doing this work, that we get to use it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like most of my friends and family are very aware that I love doing this work on myself. So for me to, I'm like, here's my boundaries I'm having right now. And I think that they're like, okay, that's Sam being Sam. And so I'm very proud of my progress in communicating, especially the boundaries and the things I'm a little bit uncomfortable in. Like, at least you can say it. And
Yeah.
that's progress to me.
And that is also the full embodiment of loving yourself and taking care of yourself first, and not being so concerned about what are other people going to think? What are they going to say if I have a boundary? If I say no? People are always going to get annoyed with us, mad at us, confused at us. Again, people are going to project their own unhealed stuff and view things through their own lens, through their own past experiences. But that's just them. And the more we're able to not take things personally and be in a more neutral place, the more we're able to have inner peace and remain in our power and not feel like a victim and feel more joy in life. And for me personally, that's my goal in life, one of my goals in life. And I'm just so happy that you're doing that for yourself as well. Another thing that I wanted to touch on with you, Sam, is I see you as someone who's a master manifester, because I mean, every single time we work together, you manifest your next goal. You've manifested incredible opportunities in work. You manifested your dream home. You just manifested a baby. You've manifested more abundance. You've created your own brand. These other creative opportunities. You're very clear on what you want in life. And when you switch it on, when you turn on your magnetic self, when you let yourself receive, when you start to take the action, it just comes. However, you don't necessarily describe yourself that way. You and your husband have this like competitiveness going on where you see him as a master manifester, and it sounds like he is, but you don't give yourself the credit for it. What's that about?
To be fair, I do see myself as a successful manifester. But I see us very different. I see him as a passive manifester. Like, I don't see the work he does as visibly to me. Maybe it's in his own way. On my end, yes, I've done all these amazing things, but I have worked my butt off for all of them. And so I think, yes, I can accomplish big things when I put my mind to it and my energy and my spirit, and I call it in and I think about it and I dream board it and I breathe about it and just every tool I can think of. And yes, I'm going to get it in one way, however it's meant to be. But I just feel the work I do.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really, really proud of that work. And I know it's necessary, like, to get to where I want to be. So, like, I'm very proud of all the progress and every step along the way, even if it wasn't the final step, it was a stepping stone to the next thing. So I don't know if that makes sense why I see it
Absolutely.
differently, or
Yeah.
maybe I don't see myself as easily as some other people might. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah, yes, I did say I wanted a desert house, and then I got one a year later. Like, yeah, but it continues to be a journey
Yeah.
and hard work. And
I think that's an
so,
example of
yeah.
how a lot of people view Instagram, I think, where Instagram is like the highlight reel of our life. Most folks just post the happy moments and the beautiful things. And people see and it's like, how does this person have that? Or why is life so easy for them? Or why is it so abundant? Why can't I have that? Life is so hard for me. And really, we just never know what people do to get it. And some people definitely have an advantage and they have more access and they have more privilege. And so, therefore, they're not having to rebuild or reprogram from like, I want to use the word deficit, even though that doesn't quite feel right, but from such a jump in where they want to be that, like for you, you have done so much work around reprogramming. And it has taken years for some things to get to that place to be a full body yes. And so maybe for your husband, he doesn't have those limitations. He doesn't have those blocks. And so where he's starting, like the thermostat for him of where he feels that he's deserving of receiving or what can come to him is at a different point. And so it does seem easier that he gets it. But I think moving forward, my invitation to you is like, okay, I've done the work. I've done the hard stuff. As you've been sharing, I have all these tools and I put them into practice. So moving forward, it is going to be easier for me because you've also, along the process, have been increasing your capacity to receive. And so now you're in a place where it's like, oh yeah, look at that hard thing that I did. It wasn't, it was challenging, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. And so we're just continuing to build on it. I can so relate to you because I too have had to completely uproot my life, right? It's like heal from all of this trauma. And just when you think that you are like done with it, then something else happens like, again, the daddy stuff. Like I thought I was good with that. But I truly feel like I'm stepping into my era of more ease and abundance. But with that, I've had to make huge life changes. Like, for example, leaving LA recently, right? Where like I'm feeling being here in the mountain. I'm like, oh, I feel like my life is starting to get easier. Like I'm even seeing physical changes in my body where in the past, my body would tell me in different ways that it was stressed out. Like I would get eczema on my face and grind my teeth at night. And again, even with all the tools that I have, right? But if your environment is stressful, then like you're just treating the symptoms basically. And once you make that courageous step to actually make the change that your soul is telling you to make, then that's where the ease comes from. That's where you really start to see quantum results, like quantum leap your life. And I think that's where you are in your life, Sam. So I'm so excited to see what else you continue to manifest in your life and allowing yourself to receive that joy, that it is safe to feel happy, that more than one thing can be true at the same time, that you deserve more abundance, and really recognizing and celebrating how amazing you are as a human.
Ah, I've got all the warm and fuzzies right now.
So, Sam, for anyone who's thinking about joining Mastermind, but maybe they're letting the investment stop them or they're telling themselves they don't have time. Like Sam had a full-time job, like regular job. She still snuck in meetings and, she made time for it. So what advice or suggestions do you have for folks who are maybe in this place?
I agree. It's not easy. Money is money, and I'm sure it's still sitting on a credit card somewhere. But I just see the value outweighing the cost, the money cost. And in terms of, yeah, it does take up a lot of time, like my coworkers, where I've never gone to a Thursday happy hour when I'm in the office because that was our mastermind night. And this past time was the first time I was able to join them. And they were like, oh, wow. I told them I have a group thing. I'm working on myself. And they were fully supportive. And honestly, I think that when you're committed, like go to every session. Like I hated if I was traveling here a couple times I wasn't able to join. You're making this commitment to yourself. So really just be all again, miss all in when I'm in, and that's how you're going to get your results. So that work that you put into it, you're going to get out of it in the end. And I just all the investment financially, time, totally worth it.
Amazing.
And new friends you make, like
new friends.
Yeah, just having other people with different perspectives, like it obviously great to get your perspective, but then somebody who doesn't know you at all, like I didn't know my group, and then to open up the first week and be like, hey, here's some really vulnerable stuff in my life. I'm having some issues. I think I want to have a baby, but I don't know. Like, hi, strangers. It's definitely a little raw and opening, and like, here's me having some tears in front of some strangers. But you know what? After 6 months, those are your friends and the people cheering you on. And the first people I told, like, hey guys, I got a positive pregnancy test, like my husband and then my support group. So
it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for their insights, their different perspectives. Maybe they've gone through something similar, or they're a big shiny mirror that's going to tell you to stop talking crazy, that it's all going to be okay. Like you said, like be easier on yourself. That's what all those extra voices are for.
And yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this group, my Dream Bigger Mastermind, is all of the love and the support. And as you're saying, like you start as strangers and it can feel a little intimidating, but I strive to really create a safe space. And the clients that I attract, they're all beautiful souls who want something similar as you, right? They want to improve themselves. They want to manifest. There's something within them that knows and do feel deserving, but there's past experiences and mindset stuff that is just blocking them. And so people are different, but there's so much overlap and so much alikeness. And immediately folks do open up. And because when people are so vulnerable, then that's how close we get so quickly. And it just allows us to as well amplify the intentions that we set for ourselves. And I really believe that when you declare to a group of strangers, these are my goals, you're basically announcing it to the universe, to the world. And the universe quickly starts to like, okay, I hear her. There were some thoughts in her mind around that, but it was a little confusing too, because then there were other thoughts that was kind of canceling that. And so once you start to get clear of that noise, then collectively, like all of our energy, because we are holding space for you, because we are cheering you on, because we're holding you accountable, because we're calling you out when you're hiding, procrastinating, self-sabotaging. That just helps for you to more quickly get out of your way and start to allow yourself to receive your dreams. So Sam, I am just always blown away by you. I love you so much. I'm so happy for you. I can't wait to meet your baby and just to see what else you continue to manifest in your life. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for being here and sharing your story. And for those of you who are thinking about Mastermind, let's see, we are basically starting real soon, February 20th. Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm just having one group this time. We are meeting weekly. Everything's going to be recorded. So if there are days where you're stuck at work or you can't make a meeting, you can always catch the replay. There's support outside of our group calls. I'm accessible to you. So I would love to have you in this upcoming round of Mastermind, not let another freaking year go by, and let's do the work. Let's start receiving and manifesting and just creating the life that you deserve. Sam, any last words?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I know this is like just the middle of our journey and that there's so much more that we're going to work on together. And, I can't wait to see what happens in 16 years and where you'll be and what you'll be doing and what I'll be doing. But I'm just so glad that I have like a lifelong friend and partner in this journey of life.
Amazing. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back real soon. Bye.